experiment. கண்ணு நான் பேச போகிறேன், டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸாக இருக்கும். உனக்கு பிரச்சனை இல்லையா? சரி. Good evening. So, where did we end yesterday? Correct me if I am wrong. We discussed about the physiography of Chhattisgarh and we should start with the rivers of Chhattisgarh, right? Or we finished the rivers also? Please drop in the chat box, someone. Where did we end the last class? கண்ணு வேலை செய். பாருங்க. We have to start with the rivers. Thank you. Karthik is fine to everyone. Karthik, Karthikeyan, whatever, right? So we'll start with the rivers. Just hold on for a sec. அங்கே தட்டினாலாம் சரியாகாது. அங்கே தலையில் தட்டினோட சரியாயிடுச்சு பாரு. நன்றி. Fine. So let's start with the shall we? So we'll start with the rivers of Chhattisgarh region, right? There are 5 major rivers within Chhattisgarh with respect to, okay, as we discussed in the last class. This is what we discussed. No, what is river and what is river basin? That is what we entered in the last class, and we also said that if the statement says Godavari flows through Chhattisgarh, it is wrong, but Godavari basin, if they say, it will be right, because tributaries of Godavari will be there, right? That's what we discussed. That's where we ended in the last class, right? Yesterday. Yes, no? Yeah, thank you. So we'll start with it. There are 5 major river basins. On the top, you will see Ganga basin, right? In the south, you will have Godavari basin. The major part is your Mahanadi basin, right? And then you will have Brahmani and Narmada also. We'll go one by one. We'll start with the Narmada basin. Look into your physical and the political map. It will be more clear in your physical map, right? This, the heart of Chhattisgarh, the central point of Chhattisgarh, this will be like this. You'll be able to see that, right? The image. So central heart of Chhattisgarh will be having Mahanadi, forms an extensive river basin. Mahanadi. Start with the rivers, and first one is Mahanadi. Origin Sittanadi Wildlife Sanctuary. Sittanadi Sanctuary. Origin Sittanadi Sanctuary. Forms extensive agricultural basin. Mahanadi, origin Sittanadi Sanctuary. Forms extensive basin, extensive agricultural basin. Right? Then the major tributaries of Mahanadi. The major tributaries of Mahanadi: Shionath, Asdio, Ib. These are the major tributaries of Mahanadi: Shionath, Asdio, Ib. IB is the tributary name of Mahanadi tributary. You go one by one, right? Shionath, origin Shivnath origin Gadchiroli in Maharashtra. Shivnath origin Gadchiroli in Maharashtra. Most peculiar river. Why, sir? First private river in the country. A 22 or 20 plus kilometers of stretch of Shivnath river is being given to a private industry for its utility purposes. For its own purposes, the river is given to a private industry. It's the first private river in India. Not the entire river, 27 or 22. I'm not sure with the numbers. The number is not going to help you in the examination. A stretch of the river is given for a industry. Shivanath, origin Gadchiroli, first private river in India, tributary of Mahanadi. Right? The important dams in Mahanadi. We're discussing Shivanath specifically because of its importance becoming the private river. The important dams: Tandula Dam, second, Mahanadi Reservoir Complex. Mahanadi Reservoir Complex. Mahanadi Reservoir Complex. Third, Asdio Bango project. Asdio Bango project. South of Chhattisgarh, you will be able to see two rivers, one in the southern part of Chhattisgarh, Indravati, the other one in the Chhattisgarh and Odisha boundary. You will be able to see a river called as Sabari. Yes? We are moving to the next one. Right? We are done with Mahanadi. We are moving to the next one. Can you locate Indravati and Sabari? Both are tributaries of Godavari. Both are tributaries of Godavari. The origin we will discuss in Odisha. When we go to Odisha, we will discuss about their origin because that is located there. Right? Indravati has an origin in Kalahandi district in Odisha, and Sabari, both are tributaries of Godavari. Sabari is also called by another name, Kolab. Sabari is called by another name called Kolab. We'll discuss more about Indravati when we go to Odisha. The next rivers. Separate river, but we are discussing it together. Dangini is a separate river. Shankani, Khani. Shankani is another river. Both as origin in Dandewada region. We saw it yesterday, no? Dandewada, Bastar, both as a origin in Dandewada region. In a place called Bailadaila Hills. Dandewada region, both Dangini and Shankini as the origin in Dandewada, within Dandewada in Bailadaila Hills. Bailadaila Hills is also known for iron ore. We have a large amount of iron ore in the particular place. So mining of iron ore also takes place in the region from Bailadaila Hills. Dankini and Shankini as origin in Bailadaila Hills. Bailadaila Hills is also known for iron ore. So iron ore mining takes place. So due to iron ore mining, the river gets highly polluted, and the river is also called as Red River because of iron ore pollutions, ferrous pollution. The color of the water in the river even changes to red, that intense pollution. And the river is colloquially at times called as Red River. And there are hundreds of villages which are affected because of the mining and the river impact. Right? So we saw Mahanadi. We also discussed about Godavari basin with its Indravati and Kolab or Sabari, and then we discussed about the another tributaries of Godavari, which is Dankini and Shankini. All four, Indravati, Kolab, Dankini, Shankini, all four are tributaries of Godavari. We are done with two basins. The third basin, Narmada basin. Yesterday, while discussing, even in the page number 37, while discussing about it, we saw Achan Kamar and Amarkantak, and we said that is located in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh boundary. While discussing Narmada in the last class yesterday, we discussed that and we said that Narmada has an origin in a place called as Amarkantak in Maikala range. Oh, there is. So you will have Maikala range here and your Narmada origin from Maikala range. 0.75% of Narmada basin falls in Chhattisgarh region. Very limited, very limited. We are speaking about the basin, we are not speaking about the river. That is why, while discussing in the yesterday's class, when we discussed with respect to Narmada river, we said Narmada flows in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat. We did not say Chhattisgarh. But when you say basin, we discussed in the last class the difference between basin and small, less than 1% of the basin falls in Chhattisgarh. Narmada origin in Amarkantak in Maikala range, less than 0.75% of the basin in Chhattisgarh. This part, you have another river which flows on the northeasternmost part called as Brahmani. The larger part of Brahmani flows in Odisha, but lesser part is in from Chhattisgarh. Brahmani flows in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Brahmani flows in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Right? The last river basin, Ganga. Yesterday's class we discussed, no, there are hills in this region, and these hills will be separating the rivers. There will be river like Mahanadi will be flowing in this direction. The rivers which origin in this part will be flowing to the northern side. The rivers which origin below the hills will be flowing on the southern side or to the eastern side. Ganga, you will be able to see the rivers in Chhattisgarh. Can you identify a river called as Rigand? Especially on the topic of Cancer dotted lines, just above that you will be able to see the river name called Rigand. Yes, okay. On the Madhya Pradesh side, you will be able to see to the northwest direction to Rigand, you will be able to see a river called as Gopad, G-O-P-A-D, Gopad. Yes, Rigand, Gopad, take it down. Banas, B-A-N-A-S, Banas. The other one, Kanhar, K-A-N-H-A-R, Rigand, Gopad, Banas, Kanhar. These two won't be there in the map, Banas and Kanhar. Only Rigand and Gopad name will be in the map. Rigand, Gopad, Banas, Kanhar, all four are tributaries of river Son, S-O-N. All four are tributaries of river Son. Next point, Deogar Hills in Chhattisgarh. Deogar Hills in Chhattisgarh separate Ganga and Mahanadi basin. Deogar Hills in Chhattisgarh separate Ganga and Mahanadi basin. We discussed, no? The hills on the northern side, all the rivers will be flowing towards Ganga. On the southern side, the rivers will be flowing with respect to Mahanadi. Deogar Hills separate Ganga and Mahanadi basin. Look into your political map, you will be able to see a particular reservoir that is actually in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Govind Bala Pansagar in the river Rihand. Govind Bala Pansagar, that is located in the river Rihand. The reservoir is located in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh region. Vasant Vedachalam. Ib is not given in your map. Right. Shall I move on? With respect to agriculture, he said the northern part of Chhattisgarh and the southern part of Chhattisgarh both with large amount of forest. So, like in the yesterday's discussion, we also said that forest tribes will be doing subsistence form of agriculture. So they won't do chemical intensive agriculture, rather extensive agriculture or for their requirement alone, subsistence agriculture. Same will be seen in both the regions. In both northern Chhattisgarh and southern Chhattisgarh, you will be able to see forest, tribes, subsistence agriculture will be done. But in the central, sir, Mahanadi has been available. Large amount of floodplains has been created. Fertile alluvial soil has been available. So the agriculture in the region is more intensive in manner. So central plains, agriculture is intensive. Northern and southern region, agriculture is subsistence. I repeat again, central plains, agriculture is intensive. Northern and southern agriculture is subsistence. Yes. Shall I move? Before going into the next subtopic, we add few more lines so that it becomes easier. Chhattisgarh is one of the less urbanized states in the country. Chhattisgarh is one of the less urbanized state in the country. So obviously, urban population is also less. Road transport network is also less developed. Less urbanized state, less urban population, road transport network is also less. Have this in mind. You'll understand when we go to the other subtopics, right? Step moving into the next one, minerals. Only state to have tin ore within Chhattisgarh. Next subtopic, minerals. Only state to have tin ore, TAN, tin ore. Second in mineral production in India. Chhattisgarh, second in mineral production in India. One-fifth of iron ore is produced from Chhattisgarh. One-fifth of India's iron ore is produced from Chhattisgarh. The Bailadela is, which has iron ore, one of the finest iron ore. So it's of good quality. The world's best quality, one of the best qualities of iron ore is found in Bailadela. %15% of India's coal production comes from Chhattisgarh. 15% of India's coal production comes from Chhattisgarh. To give a generalized area, region-wise classification, the northern part of Chhattisgarh has coal. Northern part of Chhattisgarh has coal. Southern part iron ore. North coal. Southern iron ore. Central part of Chhattisgarh has limestone. Northern part of Chhattisgarh, coal. Central part of Chhattisgarh has limestone. Southern part of Chhattisgarh has iron ore. Apart from this, there are multiple minerals are also being present. Right? These are major ones that we have been discussing about it. Within the minerals, location specific are places of interest. You look into it. Korba. In the name India that is written in your political map, above the second I of India, you will be able to see Korba, Korba, Korba. Yes, found. Aluminium industry. Korba, aluminium industry. Korba is known for power production, thermal power plants. Korba, thermal power plant, Korba, aluminium industry. Right. Locate Raipur below the name Chhattisgarh. In your political map, you will be able to see Raipur, the capital. To the left-hand side of Raipur, you will be able to see a town called as Bhilai, Bhilai, Bhilai. Yes. Next to Bhilai, can you identify Durg, D-U-R-G? Durg. And going below, on the southern direction, you will be able to identify a place called as Dalli Rajgara, D-A-L-L-I-R-A-J-G-A-R-A, Dalli Rajgara, Rajhara, H-A-R-A. Bhilai, Durg, Dalli Rajgara, 3 places. Yes, known for iron and steel. Bhilai, Durg, Dalli Rajgara, known for iron and steel. So like the ones we said, iron ore, coal, iron and steel, only producer of tin ore. We also discussed that limestone is available, and yesterday we also discussed if limestone is present, what kind of industry will be there. We discussed about a place called as Satna. 10% of cement production comes. Panna as limestone, cement, Satna as limestones. Whenever there is limestone, you will have cement industries, right? What is the picture that we made? We have 15% of coal, so there is a large possibility of production of thermal power plants. So electricity can be produced in huge proportions. And you also have industries, large numbers of minerals as a thermal power plant is produced large. You also have Mahanadi, so there is a huge possibility of HEPs can also be produced in the rivers of Mahanadi or the tributaries of Mahanadi. HEP, hydroelectric power, can be produced from them, right? And one statement that we saw earlier is less urbanized, less urban population is also being present. So a domestic demand for electricity is less, and also your production of electricity is also huge. Chhattisgarh is a power surplus state, electricity surplus state. They produce more electricity than that compared to their requirement. Chhattisgarh is a electricity surplus state or power surplus state. That is because of plenty of coal, plenty of reserves of coal that they have been having, and potential for micropower. Shall I? Important thermal power stations. TPS is thermal power station. TPS thermal power station. Korba thermal power station. Madua thermal power station. Astio, Bango, HEP. All those led to power surplus state. Shall I move to the next one? Next subtopic. Which river is Red River? Ramesh. Dangini and Shankani. The three places you mentioned, what do they produce? Which three places? And if you are asking me for Bhilai, Durgan, Dalli, Rajgara, they produce iron and steel. Right? Places where aluminium, your Balco, Bharat Aluminium Company, Nalco, National Aluminium Company, both are located in Korba, Korba. Korba is a power plant, Korba is aluminium. What is HEP on board? HEP is hydroelectric power, TPS is thermal power station. Asha, HEP is hydroelectric power. Fine. And TPS is thermal power station. Yeah. Thank you. Moving into next. As we said earlier, GI tags, and even yesterday some newspaper articles came about Pakistan asking for GI tag for the pink salt so that it won't be misused. Your GIs are being given by TRIPS, trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. They will be giving. Government of India also provides. Government of India through recognizes that and gives them, get the tag, and then we will be using it for rural development, branding, and all those things. We also have multiple GI tags, right? Not all are possible, just few. Bastar Dokra. Bastar Dokra. Metal craft. Bastar also has wood craft, WOOD, wood. Wood craft. Bastar also has wood craft. This one is metal craft. Bastar Dogra is a metal craft. Bastar wood craft. Champa silk. Champa silk. Shall I? With respect to the silk, there are 5 types of silk produced in India. Mulberry. This is based upon the type of, each type will be based upon the source of the plant and then the worm type as well. We will discuss how the silk is also being produced. Mulberry, Tasar, Oak Tasar, Eri, Muga. These are the 5 types. Mulberry, Tasar, Oak Tasar, Eri, Muga. And if you have not seen how the silk is being produced, right? So we know that, right? Caterpillar will be there. They will be consuming on the leaves, and then the caterpillar undergoes a stage called as pupa, metamorphosis. They will construct a cocoon, they will construct a shell, and within that they will go. There will be a metamorphosis stage. They will transform. After transformation, they break open the pupa and then come it as a butterfly or a moth, whatever, right? Similarly, your caterpillar of silkworms will also consume the leaves, and after that they produce a pupa. And the pupa here is called by the name cocoon. Cocoon. I'm not sure whether the spelling is right. Cocoon, right? What do? So what we do is like every type of silkworm, right, will be consuming on one particular plant. So this is a rural industry. They will be having agriculture field. They will be raising the particular crop, or forest based industry where the particular leaves or the trees grows in the forest, leaves will be harvested and you construct sheds within the nearby household regions and trays will be made. You will be growing the silkworms in trays where leaves will be given for them, leaves will be fed to them, and then they will grow. Once they grow into a adult caterpillar stage, they will construct the pupa, which is a cocoon. Once the cocoon has been constructed, we harvest all the cocoon, and a huge barrel of hot water or materials will be there. All the cocoon will be dumped inside the hot water so that the cocoon has been killed, and from the cocoon outer shells you will be harvesting the minute threads which on the outer body of the cocoon is having. You will be harvesting the minute threads, and that minute thread which is being made into silk. So if we have to make a silk handkerchief, you will be killing some thousands and thousands of silkworms, and after that silk threads will be made, and the silk thread and loom or power loom, silk, all materials are being made, right? So that has been done. And as we come back to this, everything requires a plant. Mulberry is being grown on mulberry plant, which can be grown across the country in many parts of the country. So we don't have a regional restriction, not at all. Tasar silk is grown on plants of Sal and Arjun. These are 3 common names of the trees, forest trees, Sal and Arjun. Though they are grown in larger areas naturally, but Tasar silk is largely made in the states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha by the tribes of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Mulberry is not made by the tribes. The so-called civilized population in the rural regions will be making the mulberry, but in case of Tasar, this is largely done by the indigenous people in the states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Largely, I didn't say only. There's a huge difference between the two, right? Largely in the states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Oak Tasar, Himalayan region, that comes from a tree called as oak. Oak Tasar, Himalayan region. Eri and Muga, northeastern part of India. Eri and Muga, northeastern part of India. So when we say Champa silk sarees, which kind of silk? COCOON. Okay, thank you. When we said champa silk sarees, which kind of silk? Tasar. Right? Shall I move? With respect to the tourism, right? In the last class, while discussing about the physiography, we saw something called as Dandakaranya and Bastar region, which is a plateau region in the southern part of Chhattisgarh. You might have read about this place, Dandakaranya, Bastar, for anything in the newspaper with respect to Chhattisgarh. Any idea? Just drop in the chat box. Okay. So people come up with different names. We'll go by the name. LWE, left wing extremism. That's a name that has been given for them. Thanks for the replies. Vamshi, Shiva, Priya, Vinisha. Left wing extremism. So this place is being largely affected by the left wing extremism. Yes? Will there be tourist spots in that region? Yes or no? No, 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 no. That part is most famous for tourism. That's irony. Your Dandakaranya and Bastar region is most attractive places, as most attractive places within Chhattisgarh. There are also other places for tourism in Chhattisgarh, but this one is more attractive. Take it down now, one by one. Southern Chhattisgarh is known for tourism. One, Indravati National Park. You will be able to see that in the political map. Term Indravati will be there, and a tiger, small replica of image will be there. Indravati Tiger Reserve, Indravati National Park. Right? So nature-based tourism, wildlife-based tourism. Second one is Chitrakote Falls. Chitrakote Falls, located in Indravati National Park. Chitrakote Falls, located in Indravati National Park. Widest waterfalls in India, Chitrakote Falls. Widest falls in India. The next one. Tittargarh Falls. Tittargarh Falls in a river called Khangar. Chitrakote Falls is in Indravati River. This one is in Khangar River. Knger, Khangar River. The next one. Kankar Valley National Park, Kanker, Kankar Valley National Park. The fifth one, limestone caves located in Kankar Valley National Park. So all those are major tourist attractions. Indravati National Park, Chitrakote Falls, Tittargarh Falls, Kankar Valley National Park, Kanker, Kankar Valley National Park. Limestone caves located in Kankar Valley National Park. All those are major attractions. And with respect to left-wing extremism is a more complex topic. Your internal security faculty will be discussing in detail, right? But just remember this. There are multiple factors for the creation of left-wing extremism, and the government of India over the years, government of Chhattisgarh, government of Jharkhand, government of Maharashtra, government of Odisha, wherever that has been located on Telangana earlier time periods, they have been working on reducing the impacts of left-wing extremism, transforming the people from left-wing extremism to normal, and the measure that has been taken by the government is bringing development into the region, right? Because it is always seen one factor among the many for the left-wing extremism to emerge or to increase is lack of development in the regions. So the governments, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, started bringing in the development. What kind of development was brought in, sir? Roads, schools, hospitals, houses, basic facility. Lack of basic facility was also a problem. So government made enough efforts to bring in, and just because you are aspiring for the civil service aspiring for the civil services, right? And the common perception that which was earlier existing for few, not all, right? With respect to an extremism, and once you read about it in a complete picture, there will be multiple dynamics. Don't have the prejudice. That's the only opinion. I'm no way saying that that is good, that is bad, supporting, no. I'm just saying there is no one factor towards left-wing extremism or insurgency. There are multiple factors. Your internal security faculty will be discussing. I don't have the time and space to discuss. That's the only reason we are leaving now, right? Shall I move? The next subtopic and the last one within Chhattisgarh, tribes. Gond, G-O-N-D, Gond is the major tribe in Chhattisgarh. G-O-N-D, Gond is a major tribe in Chhattisgarh region. Gond is the major tribe in Chhattisgarh. Yes, shall I further? One peculiarity you will be able to see with respect to Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha is they have a large amount of minerals. Plenty of minerals have been present with Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Especially Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and the northern part of Odisha. They have northern and western part of Odisha, they'll have plenty of minerals. But the other striking feature you will also be able to see there is very less amount of development. You have a large amount of mineral resource, but less amount of development. There is a contrasting nature between the two, and there are multiple factors again, right? One, development was not brought in. Two, there's a large amount of forest and indigenous sections of the people have been there. Hearing stories from different sides, they will say that development has not been brought in, neglected, and all those things will be there. Looking in terms of economy and looking in terms of geography, the kind of minerals that they have is coal, iron ore, limestone, and all those things, which are primary minerals, and mining is the major economic activity. And earlier, governments thought, like Jamshedpur regions and all those places, Bilai, all those places, they went with a theory called as trickle-down theory. What is trickle-down theory, sir? You create one industry, and that industry will give trickling down, like the benefits from the industry will trickle down to all the employees who will be working in that particular thing. The best example, if most of you are working in software industries, right? And if you have seen, or if you are from a lower middle class family background and stepped into the software companies, and I do not know about the time period now, but a couple of years before when the economy was stable, right? The package was slightly better, and that time you get a larger amount of money. If you come from a lower middle class family and you get a larger amount of money, the benefits move to the rural regions. So there is a development. So you work in a particular place, you get more than requirement of your salary, or at least to the levels of lower middle class, right? Specifically, and more than requirement of your salary, your excess money goes back to the villages or to the towns. So the town develops, the village develops. So trickling down of impact takes place. But in case of mining industry, the mining workers are not skilled laborers like an engineers or doctors you are, right? In that case, the amount of salary that they get is also very, very meager. There will be a very less number of skilled engineers or skilled persons will be there. Actually, trickle down did not work, and the failure of trickle down resulted in lack of development also. And this is one factor, not the only factor. There will be multiple more. But always remember, these three states are mineral rich. At the same time, there is less amount of development in the region. Right? Shall I move to the next state, Jharkhand? Before that, take it down. Mineral rich but less developed factors. Number one, type of mining industry, which is primary sector. The reasons for less development, number one, type of industry, which is mining, primary sector. Number two, rain-fed agriculture. Rain-fed agriculture. What do you mean by rain-fed agriculture, sir? Whenever there is a rainfall, whenever there is a monsoon taking place, agriculture will be done. So when there is no rainfall, you don't have enough amount of water. So the northern part, southern part, wherever the rivers are there, that will have water. But the rest of the regions do not get enough water. So the land will be kept barren, or we use a term called as fallow. F-A-L-L-O-W, right? Most of you know, but standing from my position, I have to assume that all walks of life people will be there. So don't misunderstood that I'm teaching very basic. Right? Land will be kept fallow. So only 3 months in a year or 5 months in a year you will be able to do agriculture if it is rain-fed agriculture. The rest of the time period land is barren. So you don't get round the year employment in rain-fed agriculture. You get employment only for 3 months, max 5 months. The other 7 to 8 or 9 months, you don't have employment at all. You don't have productions from the agricultural land. So the amount of development is also less. Is that clear? Rain-fed agriculture, lack of agro-processing industries, lack of agro-processing industries, limited transport network, limited transport network, why, sir? Forest, inaccessible terrains, so transport network is also not that easy to be created, right? That is one factor. Limited skilled labor, left-wing extremism, all those can be written as reasons for less development in these three states. But as we said earlier, also remember, left-wing extremism, as we say, contributes towards less development. There is also less development has also resulted in lack of development has also resulted in growth of extremism. That is why governments tries to bring in through multiple regional specific plans, bringing basic resources to reduce the extremism. Any doubts, or shall I move to Jharkhand? Shall I? We'll discuss the origin of Indravati when we go to Chhattisgarh. As it is asked, it starts from Kalahandi district. Kalahanda, Kalahandi district in Odisha. Can you take 2 minutes break? I or you? You want me to take the 2 minutes break, or you want the 2 minutes break? We just started, just 40 minutes, right? We'll have the break at something around 7:30, 7:50. Right? Yes, thank you. So we'll move to next state, Jharkhand. Jharkhand, right? 3 plateaus from the, before going in, page number 16 and 17. Right? 3 plateaus from north to south. Kodarma plateau, Hazaribagh plateau, you will be able to see the names and location of cities on the same. Ranchi Plateau. In the map, in your political map, just above the name of Jharkhand, you will be able to see Hazaribagh. Northern direction to Hazaribagh, slightly northeast direction, you will be able to see Kodarma. So it starts from Kodarma, 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 then Hazaribagh. Almost on straight lines from Hazaribagh, you will be able to see Ranchi. All three together is called as Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau. One of the most mineral rich regions of the country. Most mineral rich regions of the country. Jharkhand is also called as land of forest. Jharkhand is also called as land of forest. Land of forest. Tropical monsoon climatic conditions. Tropical monsoon climate. We'll step into the next one, rivers. Rivers. Just look into that. After that, we'll step into the rivers. Look into your physical or the political map. You will be able to see a particular river called as Damodar. Look into your physical map. It is more clear there. Page number 16. Damodar, Damodar. Above the name of West Bengal in your physical map, page 16. Damodar. Yes. And slightly just above the name Jharkhand in the same map, you will be able to see Konar, Panchet, Barakar. Yes. Tributaries. Above Damodar, you will also be able to see a river called as Ajay. Above Damodar, you will be able to see a river called as Ajay. Yes. Shall I further? Below the name West Bengal, look into the same physical map, you will be able to see a river called as Subarna Rekha. To the left hand side of Subarna Rekha, South Koyal. To the left hand side of South Koyal, Sankh, Sankh. Shall I? Identify the places. There is one more river which is not being given, one important river which is not given in your map. This is North Koyal. This will be your South Koyal. Your Sankh. Will be present here, which joins South Koyal, Subarna Rekha, Damodar, Ajay. North Koyal, South Koyal, South Koyal, Subarna Rekha, Yes. Origin of Indravati is Kalahandi. Okay, Gunal, please go slow while dictating and using map. Am I fast? We used to take 3 classes for entire India map last year. And this year we have planned for 8 classes. I'm going much, much, much slow, considering the online classes, looking into the map and all those things. But still, if you say that I'm fast, we'll try to find a middle ground still. Please reply in the message. Super fast. Bullet. Let me tell you something. In the morning, when I was taking something with respect to Himachal Pradesh, someone messaged me saying that I'm as slow as Irishman movie. Fine. We'll find a middle ground, Ramesh, still. Right? You're not fast, but we find difficulty in tracing maps in the place. It's perfect. Okay, fine. Nope. Fine. We'll find the middle ground still. We'll step into it. Right? So these will be the rivers, and we'll go one by one. Just the notes now from now on. Damodar, Rift Valley River. Sir, we discussed some Rift Valley rivers in the last class, no? What are the Rift Valleys first? Son, Narmada, Tapi, Rift Valley, Kutch Rift Valley, Cambay Rift Valley. These are the 3 Rift Valleys in the margin of Indian plate. There are also 2 rift normal fault, which creates a rift. Those are normal fault, not rift valleys actual in the boundaries of margin, which are normal fault, Maganadi and Godavari normal fault. Your Damodar is also a Rift Valley river. So if they ask you the Rift Valley river, there are 4 Rift Valley rivers: Son, Narmada, Tapi, Soneta, and Damodar. Clear? Damodar, Rift Valley river. And we discussed in the last class, Rift Valley rivers do not form deltas, right? Damodar, Rift Valley rivers. Important tributaries of Damodar. Important tributaries of Damodar. Barakar. You'll be able to see that in the map also. Barakar, Barakar. Konar. Important tributaries of Damodar. Barakar, Konar. Yes. Last class, while discussing about a particular river, we said this river flows in 3 states, and the river, which is also flowing into Gulf of Kambat, flows near Surat, results in floods in the particular region. So a particular dam has been constructed. Did we? Tapi River, Ukai Dam has been constructed in 1968. So that is yes or not required. Ignore the yes. Ukai Dam has been constructed so that Surat doesn't get flooded because of Tapi River. We discussed that, no? Yes. Similarly, there are multiple rivers in the country which results in flooding. From the past, almost regular flooding takes place. Damodar is one such. So Damodar is called as Sorrow of Bengal. They flood in that downstream regions. Upstream is your Jharkhand, downstream, we already discussed what is upstream and downstream, right? So upstream is your Jharkhand, and downstream of the Damodar river is West Bengal, and Damodar results in flooding of West Bengal. So Damodar is called as Sorrow of Bengal. So what would have been done to reduce the floods in West Bengal? Similar method. Construction of dams would have been done, right? We created a particular thing called as Damodar Valley Corporation. Damodar Valley Corporation. construction of 7 to 8 dams were planned, but actually 4 dams were constructed. 4 dams were constructed. Four dams were constructed in it: Tillaya, Konar, Maitan, Panchet. Tillaya, Konar, Maitan, Panchet. Leave this I'll just tell. Tillaya has been constructed on Barakar River. Konar is constructed on Konar River. Maitan is constructed again on Barakar River. Panchet is constructed on Damodar. You will be able to see all 4 reservoirs there. For people who understand Tamil, because this goes by the saying in Tamil, right? Consider Tillaya as the person, Maita, Panchet, Peserer. Tillaya, Maitava, Pesenjar. Or Pesenjange, whatever. Tillaya, Maida, Pesenjange. Tillaya, Maitan, Panchet, or Konar. These are the 4 reservoirs that has been available. Below the 4 reservoirs, you will be able to see all 4 reservoirs in the map. Just look into it, you will be able to see Konar above the, look into page number 16. Konar reservoir is above the name Jharkhand, A and D. Exactly above the N of Jharkhand, you will be able to see Konar reservoir. To the northwest direction of Konar reservoir, you will see Tillaya reservoir. Yes. And the same name Jharkhand, to the right hand side of D, you will be able to see Panchet reservoir. Above Panchet, you will be able to see Maitan reservoir. Barakar is the river, and Maitan reservoir you will be able to see. Tillaya and Maitan are in Barakar river. Konar reservoir is in Konar, and Panchet reservoir is in Damodar. Shall I? Below these 4, below the 4 reservoirs, barrage is also being constructed called as Durgapur barrage, which is not available in the map. Sir, why is it important? Damodar Valley Corporation is being modeled based upon a particular valley corporation which is located in United States of America called as Tennessee Valley Corporation. Damodar Valley Corporation is being based on the models of Tennessee Valley Corporation. On river management. The origin of Damodar, Palammu Hills of Chota Nagpur Plateau, P-A-L-A-M-A-U, Palammu. P-A-L-A-M-A-U, Palammu Hills of Chota Nagpur Plateau. Shall I move to the next one? Damodar is a tributary of Hooghly. Kunal, use map within the brackets image in the slide so that we will be able to easily identify. Two reasons, right? Why I'm not using it, right? The first reason is when we took the classes for the other batch, it has been asked by them to use the board in large numbers, right? That is one. And the major reason why I'm using board is if you see only the map, right? And if you don't look into your, if you see only the images and not the map, because the questions are not going to be model only for Chhattisgarh, only for Jharkhand. Looking into all previous year questions based upon the map, there are multiple times a question for entire India is being asked. So sometimes a question has been asked if you are moving from, say, Kottayam to Kohima. The question has been asked in 2018, moving from Kottayam to Kohima, what is the number of minimum number of states that you have to pass through to reach? So without you knowing whether the boundary joins other, whether this boundary connects or not, one cannot be easily able to answer the particular question. Sometimes the question is asked, you move from Gujarat to, say, Assam regions, order, arrange the order of plateaus, arrange the order of mountains, arrange the order of it. Questions like that has been asked. So because the question has been asked in UPSC in that manner, looking into the map, visualizing the map, understanding the map is very important. That is one major reason why we are looking into map, not just because of the feedback from the students. And the feedback from the students said the name is not easier to be identified, so use the board and write the names. That's what we are doing. And what is Rift Valley? We discussed that in the last class, if I am not sorry. I think we discussed in the last class. There will be a divergent plate will take place when the plate diverges. There are convergent plates and the divergent plate. Divergent plates takes place, so the rift is being created, what we call as rift valleys, East African ridge, and all those rifts, right? To be very generic in manner. We discussed yesterday, right? The next river, Subarnarekha, origin near Ranchi, origin near Ranchi, rain-fed, the Damodar, Subarnarekha, all those are rain-fed. Major tributary, Kharkai, Kharkai, Kharkai. It's not available in the map. Kharkai. Kharkai's origin is from Mayurbhanj, Odisha. Don't find that in the map, so just take the notes. Kharkai, major tributary of Subarnarekha. Origin, Mayurbhanj, Odisha. Yes, the next one. Koel. Both the north and south Koel origin from Ranchi Plateau. Both the north Koel and south Koel origin from Ranchi Plateau. The north Koel will be flowing in the northern direction, south Koel flows into Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Odisha regions. Right? Both origin from Ranchi Plateau. North flows to join Ganga. South Koel flows in the southern direction. Sank. Origin Gumla district in Jharkhand. Sank. Origin Gumla, Gumla, Gumla district in Jharkhand. Sung joins South Koel in Odisha. Sung joins South Koel in Odisha. Sunk joins South Koel in Odisha. The joining of Sunk and South Koel, after joining, the river is called as Brahmani. The northernmost tip of northeastmost tip of Chhattisgarh we saw, no? Brahmani. South Koel sunk, both confluence together. After that, the particular river is called as Brahmani. Shall I further? There is one more river called as Karo, K-A-R-O, Karo. It joins the South Koel, tributary of South Koel. Karo, tributary of South Koel. The next river, Ajay, origin in a place called as Jamui in Bihar. Ajay, origin Jamui in Bihar. Ajay is a tributary of Bhagirathi. Tributary of Bhagirathi in joins Bhagirathi river in West Bengal, or tributary of Bhagirathi. Palamu, Damodar origins from Palamu hills. That's what the significance which is discussed. What did you tell about Ugli river? Damodar is a tributary of Ugli. The next subtopic, resources. Ranchi as coal, C-O-L. Ranchi as coal fields. Kodarma, Ranchi, coal fields, C-O-A-L, coal fields. On the right hand side, left hand side of Ranchi, you will be able to see a place called as Lohar Daga, L-O-H-A-R. Look into page number 17, political map. Lohar Daga. Lohar Daga. Bauxite production. So when you have bauxite ore, what kind of industry can be there? Aluminium industry. Shall I? Godarma. On the top, we already discussed where Godarma is with respect to the plateau. Godarma. Manganese production. Godarma. Manganese production. You can see a name called as Jharkhand written in bold letters in page number 17. To the right hand side of the last letter D, you will be able to see a place called as Jaria, or below Dhanbad. Jaria, coal fields. Jaria in Dhanbad is known for coal, C-O-A-L, coal fields. To the left of Jaria, you will be able to see Bokaro. Bokaro, iron and steel. Bokaro, iron and steel. To the north of Bokaro, Giridh, G-I-R-I-D-I-H, Giridh. Coal fields. Yes. Jamshedpur, below the name West Bengal, you'll be able to see Jamshedpur, known for 1907. Tata Iron and Steel Company. Tata Iron and Steel. They started first initially there, right? Tata started it, and after that, Jamshedpur is known for steel. Bokaro is known for steel. Right. This part, plenty of uranium mining has been located in the region. Your Jamshedpur, Singamam district, all these will have plenty of uranium mining takes place. Start one by one. Jaduguda. First uranium mines in India. Jaduguda. First, that is not on the map, so just take it down. Jaduguda. First uranium mines in India. All this list is uranium mines in Jharkhand. Jaduguda is the first uranium mines in India. Then Buttin, Narvapahar, Thuramdit, Bandhuharang, Jaduguda, Buttin, Narvapahar, Thuramdit, Bandhuharang, Bagjata. Uranium mines have been located in Jamshedpur and Singamam district. While discussing Andhra Pradesh, we will discuss two more mines in Kadapa district in Andhra Pradesh, which is recently started, right? One has been exploration is going on, another one exploration permission has been given, in principle approval has been given. Before few years, before Andhra Pradesh started exploring uranium mines, Jharkhand is the only state which has uranium mines. But today, if the statement says Jharkhand is the only state where uranium exploration is taking place, then it will be wrong. We have Jharkhand, we also have Andhra Pradesh, where uranium mining is been taking place. Yes. The next one, Ranchi, capital city. Ranchi, capital city. Central Institute for Resins and Lac is located in Ranchi. Institute for Resins and Lac is located in Ranchi. Central Institutes for Resin and Lac is located in Ranchi. What is lac, man? Lac is an insect, right? We have an insect called as lac insect that will be consuming the fresh tender leaves of certain plants, and they will have some secretions or excretas will be created, which will be deposited over the branches of the plant. So that has been scrapped by a process and then we get the lakh. Lakh, arakku solluvom Tamil. Lakh is being used. The most common thing that you have seen with the usage of lakh is every government seal is being done with a lakh. From the British time period till today, they put a cloth or a seal. During the times of British, there will be a lakh seal will be there. Today, you put cloth over the lock. If anything has to be sealed, you could put a cloth over, lock it, cloth it, and give a lakh. Right? So Jharkhand is the largest producer of lakh in India. Jharkhand is the largest producer of lakh in India. Jharkhand is also the question paper also comes up with the seal. Jharkhand, the largest producer of lakh in India. Jharkhand is the largest producer of Tassar silk in India. Jharkhand is the largest producer of lakh, Tassar silk in India. What is coal field? Coal mining fields. You have a large, it's not only one mining is being there. When you say coal fields, there will be large number of coal mining places, more number of mines will be there. So general common term, we are saying large coal field, not one field, multiple fields are there. That's what we mean. Right? So we are done with the physiography, climate, rivers, resources, places of interest, protected areas. Palamu. Can you see a tiger between J and H of Jharkhand in your page number 17? Palamu Tiger Reserve. Only tiger reserve in Jharkhand. Within Jharkhand. There is only one tiger reserve in Jharkhand, that is Palamu Tiger Reserve. Yes. Belta, B-E-L-T-A. Next point. Belta, B-E-L-T-A. Belta National Park. Take page number 37, you will be able to see Belta. Located, Palamu Tiger Reserve and Belta are located nearby. Belta National Park, only national park in Jharkhand. Sir, why it becomes important? There are other states will have more tiger reserves, more national parks. This is the only state you have. This is one of the very few states where you see only one tiger reserve or only one national park. That's why specifically mentioned. Right? Tribes, the major tribes, Santal, Munda, Ho, Oran, Ho, the major tribes. In history, you will be reading, right? Santal rebellion in the central provinces comes from Jharkhand. Munda, you might have come across. If not, please read about it. Birsa Munda, one of the greatest leaders of Adivasi, comes from Munda. Birsa Munda, Oran, Ho. Take a break. Coming back from the break, we'll open it for the doubts and then we'll step into the next state. 7:25, come back by 7:30. Jharkhand, Andhra, both as uranium mines by today. I said, Kunal, couple of years before, only it was Jharkhand who was having uranium mines, but now Andhra Pradesh has also started uranium mines. So if the statement says Jharkhand is the only state which has uranium mines, it is wrong. Both Jharkhand and Andhra Pradesh has uranium mines. That's what I said, Kunal. And with respect to next question, Satya, what was the point you said about Palamu Hills? Origin of Damodar is Palamu Hills. Origin of the river Damodar is in Palamu Hills. Right? The next state, Odisha. Shall I move to the next state? Is it fine with everyone? Any doubts with respect to Jharkhand? Karthik is fine, Sundarya. Right? Take the Odisha map, page number 20 and 21 again. Look into your physical map. You'll be able to see 3 hills in Odisha from south to north. To the left hand side of Bhubaneswar, Nayagar Hills, Nayagarh, Nayagar Hills. Yes. Above Nayagar Hills, you will see Mahanadi. Above Mahanadi, you will see Tikkarpara Hills. Tikkarpara Hills. And above them, Garjat, Garhjat. Garjat, Nayagar, Tikkarpara, Garjat. Yes. Shall we? Odisha. Right? So you'll have Nayagar, Tikkarpara, Garjat. Yes. 3 hills, and then you will also have Mahanadi. So deltas of Mahanadi will also be seen. Tropical climatic condition. 37% of Odisha is a forested region. 37% of Odisha is of forest region. If you divide Odisha into 2 parts, the eastern part of Odisha is a low-lying region. The western part of Odisha is with uplands. You'll be able to see that in your physical map, right? The colors indicates the plateaus, right? They will also given the legends for the colors indicating altitude in meters. In the Bay of Bengal part, there is a legend. Blue indicates water below mean level, and green up to 50, pale green, brown indicates higher altitudes. So you'll be able to see the eastern part of Odisha is a low-lying regions, and the western part of Odisha is an upland region. And there is a large amount, 0 to 50 meters of low-lying landmass has been present in the eastern part of Odisha, or Mahanadi Delta, starting from the start. Bhagirathi Delta, Brahmini Delta, Mahanadi Delta, Rushikulya Delta, Vamsadhara, River Devi, Indravati, not Indravati will not form deltas, the other ones. All these will form deltas and the low-lying landmass will be allocated in this region. So what? Consider a cyclone occurs. How will be the impact? Odisha is known, prone for cyclones. Almost every year you will see cyclones in Odisha, right? So the impact is going to be more because your low-lying regions, water stagnation is going to be easier. Large amount of regions will be flooded. Is it possible? Second point. Sir, it's a low-lying regions and climate change has been taking place. Because of climate change, increase in temperature, global warming takes place. Sea level is also been increasing, mean sea level is also been increasing. So the large amount of low-lying regions will be submerged. Possible? So natural disasters like cyclone occurs, floods takes place, major destruction. Sea level increases, mean sea level increases, that results in submergence of landmass. Yes? Shall I move further? Sir, every place where sea level increases, land will submerge. But what is peculiar with respect to Odisha? If you look at Odisha, the western part of Odisha is completely upland regions. Only the eastern part is the places where all your river deltas are formed, right? And low-lying regions. And if you look into your political map, most important cities and towns will be in the low-lying regions. Yes? So if sea level increases, a cyclone occurs, and if it is affected, and sea level increase when it submerges the landmass completely, what are the impacts, sir? Your deltas are food bowls of the world. Wherever deltas are there, alluvial soils will be there. Large amount of food production, cereal production will take place. If deltas are submerged, agriculture in the region will be affected, number one. Yes. Number two, sir, large number of your cities are located in the eastern part in Odisha compared to the western part. Large number of cities have been located in the eastern part compared to the western part. So city submergence will also take place. So what will be the impact? Land submergence, agricultural fertile regions will be lost. The cities will also be flooded. That will have a major impact. The names has been changed multiple times. SIAN 2009 Please keep a name. Please. Right? The names has been changed. Earlier it was Orissa, then it became Odisha. Go by the term that has been used in the map. ODISHA. Right? Shall I move to the rivers? We'll go by from them north to south, right? 10 major rivers you will be able to see in Odisha, right? We'll go from north to south to have an order. Baitarani. First, see the rivers in the map so that after that you will be able to visualize and then we will go further, right? From the north, below Simlipal, the tiger will be there. Below Simlipal, you will be able to see Baitarani. Yes, below Baitarani, Brahmani. Just underline it. Baitarani, Brahmani, Mahanadi, yes, Rushikulya, Vamsadhara. The name Vamsadhara will be actually in Andhra Pradesh location. Starts from Odisha and then it flows into Andhra Pradesh. The name will be there in Andhra Pradesh, right? But it starts in Odisha. Vamsadhara. What have we seen? Baitarani, Brahmani, Maganadi, Rushikulya, Vamsadhara, then Indravadi, Sabari or Kolab, Indravadi, Sabari, Kolab, right? The northernmost tip of Odisha, northeasternmost tip of Odisha, the name has not been there, where Subarnarekha also flows through. Right? We have already discussed certain rivers. So the rivers which we have not discussed alone, we will discuss here again. Right? Again, Maganadi becomes a major one. We'll go by the major to minor. Maganadi. Major tributaries of Maganadi in Odisha. Major tributaries of Maganadi in Odisha. Ong, Tel, O-N-G, Ong, T-E-L, Tel, Ib, Indra, shall I? Distributaries of Maganadi. Devi, Prachi, Bhargavi, Devi, Prachi, Bhargavi, shall I? Daya, Nuna, Khoyakai, Khoyakai, K-H-A-I, Khoyakai, Kusabhadra, Virupa, all these are major tributaries of, major distributaries of Maganadi. Yes? Can you see the lake Chilka? Chilka? Look into your physical map, it will be more prominent. The distributaries of Maganadi will have connection with Chilka. Among the distributaries, three major distributaries flows into Chilka: Bhargavi, Nuna, Daya. These three distributaries flows into Chilka. Sir, Maganadi, which is large rivers and there are multiple amounts of it, comes from the upslope regions, from Chhattisgarh regions, it will be flowing and then it comes closer towards the mean sea level, the velocity will be reduced. We discussed that in this last class. Velocity gets reduced. So when the velocity gets reduced, earlier what is tributaries? Multiple. Chambal joins Yamuna. We said Chambal is a tributary of Yamuna. Your Shipra or Kali Sindh or Parbati, we said tributaries of Chambal. Yamuna itself is a tributary of Ganga. We said that, right? These streams join another stream, we call them as tributaries, right? And when the river flows and they come into contact with the mean sea level or the ocean or the sea, their velocity will be reduced. Now the river will be split into multiple small branches, what we call as distributaries. And these are the names of distributaries of Mahanadi, right? That is why closer towards delta, you'll always able to see multiple small streams divided. You can see that in page number 20 in your physical map, many distributaries will be there, right? Now the velocity is reduced, whatever the sediments they carry now has to be settled, and three distributaries are flowing into river Chilka, Bhargavi, Nuna and Daya. So what will happen to them? When they reach the Chilka, the amount of sediments they carried, what will happen to them? That will be settled. So if that settles, what happens to Chilka? The depth of Chilka will be reduced because of huge amount of siltation. One major problem with Chilka. Siltation from distributaries of Mahanadi. Shall I? So you understand, right? What is distributary? They will be carrying sediments. And three distributaries, Daya, Nuna and Bhargavi, flows into Chilka. And when they reach the mean sea level, because the slope is going to be very gentle, the velocity gets reduced. So sediments gets deposited. So Chilka's depth gets reduced. One. Second, Mahanadi, which has been flowing in the central regions and also the eastern part of Odisha, we said it's a plain regions. We also discussed deltas are highly fertile lands, alluvial soils, food bowls of the world. By the present day, after 1960s and 1970s, India started using large amount of fertilizers to produce agriculture. Excessive dumping of fertilizers has been done. All those fertilizers will be leached, taken by the runoff, added to the river, and that river enters into Chilka. Yes. So Chilka's second major problem is nutrient pollution. Nutrient pollution, siltation, the two major problems of Chilka. Our environment faculties will be discussing about Chilka, the pollution, Ramsar Convention, Montreux's record, how it has been taken out. All those will be discussed there. Right. Shall I move? With respect to Mahanadi, in Odisha, you also have an important reservoir called as Hirakud. You'll be able to see that in both the maps, page number 20 and 21. Hirakud. Yes. The next river, Brahmani. Brahmani. We already discussed about Brahmani. We said Brahmani is formed by merging of South Koel and Sank in Odisha. After the both rivers which emerge in Jharkhand, when they merge in Odisha, Brahmani has been formed and Brahmani has been flowing into it, right? Baitarani. We'll again look into the rivers from north to south. The topmost river, Subarnarekha, which is not been mentioned in the map, but that is at the topmost region, northeasternmost region of Odisha. You will be able to see small, minute blue lines, which is Subarnarekha. Then you have Baitarani. Then you have Brahmani. Then Mahanadi. Then Rushikulya. Then Vamsadhara. Then Vamsadhara. You'll also able to see a name called as Nagavalli that also emerges from Odisha. Nagavalli. And then Indravadi, Sabari. Right? North to south. We are done with Mahanadi. We are done with Brahmini, which we have already discussed in Jharkhand. Baitarani. Baitarani, origin from Gonasika or Gupta Ganga. So origin Gonasika or Gupta Ganga. Kolab emerges from Koraput origin. Koraput, Odisha. Koraput. Where is Koraput, sir? Above the name Andhra Pradesh, in your political map, you will be able to see Koraput. Yes? Indravadi from Kalahandi. All these emerges from Eastern Ghats. Vamsadhara, again origin from Kalahandi. Right? Rushikulya, origin, place called as Daringbadi Hills in Eastern Ghats. EG, Eastern Ghats. Daringbadi Hills in Eastern Ghats. Rushikulya, origin from Daringbadi Hills in Eastern Ghats. Nagavalli, Kalahandi. So we saw Indravadi emerging from Kalahandi, Vamsadhara emerging from Kalahandi, Nagavalli also as the source from Kalahandi. Indravadi, Vamsadhara, Nagavalli, all three as the source from Kalahandi, and Rushikulya from Daringbadi. Rushikulya from Daringbadi Hills. Okay. Opening the session for doubts. We'll go one by one. Any difference between tributaries and distributaries? What is the difference between distributary and tributaries? I just saw it and I have answered that, right? So do you want me to explain again? No, right? Okay. These river names sounds like Kalakayan language. Arjuna Vamsadhara, Kalahandi. Why was Koraput mentioned? What did you mention about Koraput? Koraput, Arjun River. Kolab, Kolab, also goes by the name Sabari, Sabari, which will be located in Odisha, Chhattisgarh boundary. In the map, it is given as Sabari, Sabari. And yesterday we will discuss, today, right? We'll discuss in Chhattisgarh. We discussed Sabari also as another name called as Kolab. That is what emerges from Koraput. Which three rivers originate from Kalahandi? Indravadi, right? Vamsadhara, Nagavalli. Right? Sivapriya will come to that, right? We are just discussing about Koraput is famous for rice cultivation. We also have handlooms there. We'll come to that. Is that the distributaries was responsible for delta formation always? Yeah, Kalagandi is not in the map. Right? Kalagandi is a district that is not given in the map. Not all can be given, that's the only thing. And distributary is always responsible for delta formation. For delta formation to take place, there are multiple factors to be there, right? Like we said, drift valley rivers cannot form deltas, right? And the eastern coast, you cannot see deltas also, right? Sorry, western coast, you cannot see deltas also, because many rivers that flows in western region are very small rivers. So they will not be able to carry a large amount of sediments. That is one reason. The second reason with respect to, major reason with respect to western coast not having deltas is the Western Ghats is an escarpment. Sir, what do you mean by escarpment? This is your Western Ghats, no? Right? There has been a submergence of the eastern side. Sorry, western side has been submerged and going down. So it's a block mountain. It's an example of block mountain. We go by the term escarpment, especially, right? There is a submergence of landmass beneath the ocean. So what has happened? There is a huge depth. Again, very speaking in a very layperson terms, we will discuss that again further, right? Escarpment took place. There is a submergence of landmass. So the continental shelves and others, Mr. Gautam will be building the base or would have built the base already, is very, very, on the eastern coast, we will have a shallow continental shelves, continental slopes will be shallow with respect to the eastern coast. It will be deep in the western coast regions. So deltas can be easily formed by the large rivers in case of eastern coast. Depth is more in western coast regions. So deltas formation is not that possible. That is one more factor. And Narmada being a larger river, Tapi being a larger river, Mahanadi though being a larger river, they don't form deltas because Narmada and Tapi are Rift Valley rivers. So you cannot say one factor always, there are multiple factors. Right? How Lake Chilka became nutrient pollutant? Sure. Entire region, your deltas comes up with a large amount of agriculture. For the agriculture to be done, post 1970s, we started dumping a huge amount of fertilizer. And we don't actually provide fertilizer for what the plant is required. We dump fertilizers. We over dump the fertilizers. If it is 10 gram, we use kgs. Plant absorbs certain amount of fertilizers alone, not all the material that is being dumped. So the excess fertilizer that has been stagnated in the soil, whenever rainwater takes place or the excess amount of irrigation takes place, that will be leached, added to the river. That distributaries we saw, Bhargavi, Daya, Nuna, all the three distributaries also carry the nutrient pollution. That is added to the Chilka. That is how Chilka gets a nutrient pollutant. Right? How to remember all this? Revision, ma'am. That's the only thing that I did. Fine. I still have time. We're done with the rivers. So with respect to the agriculture, you'll be able to see this, right? So the eastern part of Odisha, which receives more amount of rivers, deltas have been formed, fertile agricultural alluvial soil has been available. So rivers are also there. Your northeast monsoon brings rainfall. The southwest monsoon will also bring rainfall. Both rainfall will be available. So rainfall is available, rivers are available, fertile soils are available. The eastern part of Odisha, so the eastern part of Odisha comes up with more amount of fertile agricultural rich regions. Intensive agriculture takes place. Is that clear? What are the factors? Now, 1, plains. 2, deltas formed by the rivers. So what is, when you say deltas formed by the rivers, they are fertile alluvial soil. Fertile alluvial soil. Rivers also bring a large amount of water. Also monsoon. So it is fed by both the rivers and the monsoon. Because of these factors, high or intense agriculture takes place in the regions. How about the western parts, sir? Mountainous regions, forest regions, large amount of indigenous tribes will be there. The northeast monsoon, all the intense rainfall that is being carried by the winds will get precipitated in the eastern part alone. The west receives very less amount of rainfall. We'll discuss when we go to monsoon in much in detail, right? So leaving that part, your west will receive slightly lesser rainfall. Forest region, tribes. So deltas are not available. So alluvial soil, rich alluvial soil is also not available. So agriculture is subsistence agriculture in the western part of Odisha. So what is the major economic activity in western part, sir? He said forest. Large minerals are there, mining. You will be able to see some ironies in India. One major irony is wherever there is forest that is located, that region is also resourceful, rich in minerals. So mining takes place in the regions. It's always a debate between development and environment there. Right? Moving towards the next resources as iron ore, manganese. In the next subtopic within Odisha, resources, iron ore, manganese, coal, bauxite, dolomite, look into the place. The name India is written no in your political map, INDIA. Between the second I and A, you will be able to see a place called as Jharsuguda. Located between I and A in Odisha, you will be able to see a place called as Jharsuguda in page number 21. Above Jharsuguda, Sundargarh, known for aluminium production. I said earlier, no, wherever bauxite is available, aluminium industries will be located. Jharsuguda, Sundargarh, aluminium production. Above Sundargarh, you will be able to see a place called as Roorkela. In the map, it has been given as Rourkela, Raurkela. That is what it has been written. It is Rourkela, Rourkela. Steel, iron and steel company. Rourkela, iron and steel. Shall I further? I'll give you the large amount of forest, large numbers of tribes, large number of tribal groups. So each tribal group will have a traditional art, traditional craft. Odisha has a large amount of handlooms that has been very popular for handlooms that has been done. All these as GI tags. Take one by one. Kalahandi, we already discussed about it. It's closer towards Koraput, slightly above. Right? Kalahandi, Kalahandi, Kalahandi. Where is Kalahandi to be exact? Can you see a place called as Naupada? To the northwest direction of Odisha, or below the name Chhattisgarh. Below the name Chhattisgarh in page number 21, you will be able to see, below the name Chhattisgarh, you will be able to see Naupada. Yes? Near Naupada, you have Kalahandi. Kalahandi comes up with Abbas Puri saris. All these are handlooms, all of them have GI tag. Abbas Puri sari. To the northeast direction of Naupada, or India's like A is there, no? Below A, below the A of India, can you identify a place called as Sambalpur? Sambalpur. Ikat style weaving in Sambalpur region. Yes. Jharsuguda also comes up with handlooms. Above Sambalpur, you will be able to see Jharsuguda. Yes. Now come below. Right. Can you identify the place Bhubaneswar? Above Bhubaneswar, Cuttack. Near Cuttack, there is a place called as Naupatna, where they do Kandau weaving. Kandau. I'm genuinely wrong with all these pronunciations. I do know that, right? I do not know how to pronounce also, right? Different names. As someone said, it looks like the Kalakaya language. I pronounce it by the way that I can, right? So if I'm wrong, please excuse me with that. If you are from the region, you can teach me as well, right? Kandau weaving in Naupatna. Koraput. Kotapat saris. Kotpat. Koraput comes up with Kotapat saris. You know where is Koraput, right? Southern region. Above the place Andhra Pradesh, above the name Andhra Pradesh, we already discussed. Koraput is there. Koraput comes up with Kotpat saris. Kotpat. Kotpat saris. Odisha is rich in handloom industry. Odisha is rich in handloom industry. Yes, shall I move? The next one, port. Can you identify a place called as Paradweep? Paradwip. Right? Before stepping in, you come across this major ports and minor ports in India. So when we say major port and minor port, the difference is major port is being administered by the central government and the cargo handling capacity is large. Huge cargo handling capacity administered by the government of India. When you say minor port, that is by the state government, private or by private or by PPP, public private partnership. Major port, government of India, cargo handling capacity is huge. Minor port, state government or private or public private partnership. Cargo and handling capacity will be less compared to major port. This is the difference between major and minor. Right? This year in the question paper, there are geography optional students who wrote the answers saying that major port, customs officers will be there, minor port, no customs officers will be there. I felt like killing them. And those are geography optional people in mains examination. So do know that major port is public sector by the government of India, minor ports, private, PPP are by the state, right? Shall we identify the locations and then we'll go on. Can you identify in the mouths of Maganadi, above Bhubaneswar, you will see Jagat Singhpur. Don't worry about Jagat Singhpur. Above Jagat Singhpur, you will see Paradweep. Paradwip. Paradweep. Major port. It's a major port. Natural What do you mean by natural? It is not artificially dredged and created. Some ports as naturally conducive environment for the port to be created. Some places the depth will be shallow. In those places, you artificially start dredging, deepening the regions, and you create the similar condition for the port. All ports will be, of course, will be constructed. So those are anthropogenic. We're speaking about the conditions comfortable for them, conditions suitable for them. So natural port, major port near the confluence of Mahanadi. Above Paradip, you will be able to see Baitarkanika. Above Baitarkanika, you will be seeing Damra, Dhamra, Damra. Yes, minor port. Right? Damra also has a fishing harbor. There is a small river called Damra River, goes by the same name. Damra River is also being located. Damra district, Damra River, Damra port, all goes by the same name. Right? You can see Chilka, right? Below Chilka, you will be able to see a place called as Ganjam. Below Ganjam, you will be able to see a place called as Gopalpur. Minor port. Gopalpur, minor port. And with respect to the proposed one, a riverine port is proposed in Mahanadi. Riverine port is proposed in Mahanadi. What do you mean by riverine port, sir? On the river of Mahanadi, not in the Bay of Bengal. On the river of Mahanadi itself, you will have a port. So anything that is imported from the other countries, if it is required, the ship can move from the Paradip port or any of the port to the Mahanadi port interior, wherever it is proposed and wherever it comes up, right? It is in proposal, so I can't tell, right? So wherever from the coast, it can go interior on the river. Why, sir, it is required? Two reasons. One major reason, water transport is cheaper than the road transport or rail transport. Second, there are certain heavy, large machineries or large goods. It's not easy for you to be carried by the roads, but in water that can be easily carried. So transport easy for large size goods and also cheaper. Other features, if you create a port interior, port-led development will take place. Any place where there is a port, all import and export takes place. So obviously that township is being developed because of port. Thoothukudi, Cochin, Paradip, Visakhapatnam, multiple places, Chennai, Ennur. Mahanadi riverine port is proposed. Shall I? Places of importance or locations. We'll go one by one. Kandavu weaving is in a place called Naupatna near Cuttack. Right? Some of the doubts. North to south, which has already been mentioned. Yes. Book list for Indian geography. Gautam has already discussed. I repeat it again. 6th to 12th NCERT. Gochang Liang. 6th to 12th NCERT. Gochang Liang. School Atlas. Newspaper. And our discussions. Newspaper. Right? We'll also discuss at the end of discussing the map, we'll also discuss the previous 5 years of question papers, and you will understand. Entire pattern as it resembles on the basis of the previous year question papers. Major port by the government, at least as of now. Maybe there will be opening or may not. Sectors can be changed. That happens with budgets. many places have been opened up, right? So I was telling about the usual. I don't know about what is in the future. Places of location. We'll start from Ganjam, as we ended with Gopalpur, and you've already seen Ganjam, right? Ganjam. Ganjam is known for Ganjam Kheda flowers. Ganjam Kheda flowers used in perfume industry. 80% of Ganjam flower production comes from this Ganjam place. Then you have Chilka, above Chilka, Puri Jagannath temple, Puri Jagannath temple. Yes. Then you will be above Puri, you will be able to see Konark Sun temple. Above Puri, you will be able to see Konark Sun temple. Yes. Then you have Bhubaneswar, planned city, PLANNED, planned. Visualize, conceptualize, planned city, right? Cuttack, above Bhubaneswar you have Cuttack. Central Rice Research Institute of India is located in Cuttack. Central Rice Research Institute of India in Cuttack. Yes. Go further north, you will be able to see a place called as Chandipur. Tourist destination for the beaches. Tourist destination for beaches. Shall I? Further? Chilka, largest brackish water lake in Asia. Chilka, largest brackish water lake. What is brackish, sir? What is fresh? What is saline? If it is less than 5 parts per million of salt, we call it as fresh. Saline, more than 35 parts per million of salt, we call it as saline. Brackish, 27 to 35 parts per million of salt, we call them as brackish. So what is brackish? Your fresh water and saline water, when it has been mixed, that will have brackish ecosystem. Sir, where does the Chilka gets the brackish water from? Bay of Bengal will give the saline water. Where does the fresh water come from? Bhargavi, Nuna, Daya will give you the fresh water. So brackish water is created. Largest brackish water lake in Asia. Yes. Gautam would have discussed about this river while discussing the world map. Where is it located? Is it in India? Iravadi, river Iravadi. Myanmar. Kishore, is it 1000? Oh, now when you asked, I got confused. It is parts per million or parts per thousand. What did I write? So I wrote as parts per million. I'll check and I'll tell you tomorrow. Parts per million or parts per thousand. Planned city means some cities are not planned, right? Wherever there is to be a development, there will be development. But if you go to Chandigarh, you will be able to see this. This is how all the cities will be there. There will be perpendicular roads. There will be all 4 dimensions will be there, and within this will be a block. This will be a block. This will be a block. So all the places you will be able to find this. you will know where should be the residence, where should be the industry, where should be the administration. You are planning the city before construction, which if it is not being done, there will be over a period of time, with cities develop, it will be unorganized, there will be a collapse, there will be congestion, and all those will take place. Chandigarh is a planned city, Bhubaneswar is a planned city. If you are from Tamil Nadu and if you have visited Neyveli, which is a planned township, right? Myanmar, yes, Irrawaddy. Irrawaddy dolphins are found in Lake Chilka. The statement says Irrawaddy, consider, hypothetically speaking, if the statement says Irrawaddy dolphins are found in Chilka, don't go by the opinion Irrawaddy river is in Myanmar, so Irrawaddy dolphins cannot be present here. That's not the case. Or don't go by the opinion Irrawaddy is the freshwater river, so Irrawaddy dolphin, if someone says that has to be a freshwater dolphin, and Chilka is a brackish water lake, so may not be present. If you go by these opinions, then it will be wrong. Irrawaddy dolphin is present in Lake Chilka. Irrawaddy dolphin is present in Lake Chilka. Irrawaddy is a freshwater and also brackish water dolphin. It survives in both fresh and brackish water. Irrawaddy dolphin survives in both freshwater and brackish water. Yes. The next one, with respect to the biodiversity, olive ridley turtles. Olive ridley turtles. Shall I? These are sea turtles. There are 7 species of sea turtles in the world, and with respect to sea turtles, there are peculiar features of sea turtles are there. These sea turtles have their original habitat in some other part of the world, like America, right? The continent of America, their original habitat is there. And when they become mature, right, what do is they migrate from Africa, come to the tropical regions, not just India, Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Australia, many places, Maldives, they come to this particular region. On the continental shelves, in the ocean, on the continental shelves, male and female copulate. Only female comes to the coast. And they lay their eggs in the coast. They will build a nest, they will lay all the eggs, they will close the nest, and they will go back to the sea, and they will go back to their homelands. The nest, the eggs do not have any protection or any incubation from the mother. Just laying of eggs will be done. And the incubation is done by the external temperature, that is thermo, depending upon the temperature. Based upon the temperature, the sex of the turtles which will be hatched is determined. For example, if higher the temperature, females will be hatched. Lesser the temperature, male will be hatched. Moderate of that, both male and female has the possibility. Either it can be male or either it can be female. It can occur, right? That is also possible, right? One. And once the turtle hatches after 45 days, the turtle hatches. Usually it hatches during the times of full moon or not during the times of new moon. Full moon or bright moon's light will be available, and they hatch during the times of night. Don't ask me how. These are actually, our animals are more smart than humans, right? They are the plants. So they actually hatch during the times of night or the early morning. So seeing the light of moon, which has been resembling on the water, they will be identifying this direction is the sea, and they will be walking towards the sea. And after that, they will step into the oceans, and they go back to their original habitat from where their father came by themselves. 1,000 turtles have been hatched and enter into ocean. One among the 1,000 will survive. That's a rate of survival before they go back to their original habitat, develop into a mature one, then comes. Sir, okay, sir. This turtle has now nesting has done in Chennai coast, for example, or Visakhapatnam or Baitarakanika, and then turtles have been hatched. They go back to their original habitat. When they become adult, they will come back again to the same place where they have been born, and they lay their eggs in the same exact region. Not the same, don't ask me same next, not possible, right? Same coastal region, right? They will be laying the eggs, and they will again leave again. So the mother, wherever the mother has been born, the young one will be born. So it goes by generations to generations and generations. Multiple generations, same practice will be carried. Okay, what is the problem here? Number one, if sea level increase takes place, right, and if the beach is submerged, where will the turtles will be laying the eggs? 1. 2. If coastal development takes place, industries have been constructed, port have been constructed or coastal erosion has taken place because of coastal development, where will my turtles get the space for laying the eggs? Third, right? So this is a major threat, right? Second threat with respect to the turtles is, earlier we said full moon, light will be glaring on the oceans. The turtle baby hatchlings identify the oceans and they walk. But today you go to the sea, there will be more light on the land side, right? On the coastal road, there will be plenty of light. Today what happens is, because of the light pollution that has been done on the coast, the turtles walk towards the land rather than going towards the sea and then get killed by the vehicles or by the people or by the stray dogs. Threat 3. Fourth threat, humans. They take the eggs, consumption, omelette, consuming the turtle eggs. This also been done. Stray dogs, plenty of stray dogs consume the eggs. These are major threats. Other major threats is your fishing, destructive fishing practices, boats, all those that kills the turtles. I would love to speak much more on environment. I was speaking environment once, but I have my constraint and I move towards from here, we'll be moving towards geography, right? So you got the point, right? So one site which has been identified, the same site, they will come back and lay the eggs. And if by any chance, if there is same site, they will be coming and laying eggs. If the nesting is of mass nesting, what do you mean by mass nesting? 10,000 turtles comes to one particular region, lakh turtle comes to one particular region and do laying of eggs. We call them as mass nesting, and that goes by the term called as arribadas. What do you mean by arribadas? That's a Portuguese term for mass nesting. ARRIBADDAS, arribadas. Right? And what are the mass nesting sites in Odisha? Baitarkanika. You'll be able to see that above Bhubaneswar. Right? We saw Devi, no? Mouth of river Devi. Your distributary, that one. Mouth of Rushikulya. Gagir Mata. It takes place, all your really turtles, nesting takes place all across the coast, right? Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, all the places. But these four are major sites because these are arribadas. Sir, how much? In Chennai coast, at the maximum, if the nesting is good, you will be able to collect 1,000 eggs. Here and all, lakhs. Huge numbers. Shall I move? It's 8:29. I will take just 2 minutes and I will finish Odisha. Nothing more. I seriously, genuinely do not want to extend for all, especially when you have been working all day, right? I'll just take 2 minutes and I will finish it off. The next one, protected areas or national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. You'll be able to see a tiger on the northernmost part of Odisha, Simlipal Tiger Reserve. Simlipal Tiger Reserve. Page number 37. Right? Baitarkanika has been there. Chilka Lake is also there. Baitarkanika is a wildlife sanctuary. Gagir Mata is also a wildlife sanctuary. Gagir Mata wildlife sanctuary. Baitarkanika is a wildlife sanctuary. Baitarkanika is a national park. Simlipal, Chilka. Take it down, it's not given in the map. Satkosia Gorge Tiger Reserve. Satkosia Tiger Reserve. SAT, KO, SAT, KO, SIA, Satkosia, Tiger Reserve. Yes. And Tikkarpar, we saw Tikkarpara hills, no? Tikkarpar, TIKARPAR, Tikkarpar, crocodile breeding. Tikkarpar, crocodile breeding. Tourist sites. Odisha has large number of hot springs, HOT, hot springs. What is spring? Discharge of groundwater will be called as spring. You would have seen, no, artesian well, kannooth, ooth, சொல்லுவோம் இல்லைங்களா? Discharge of groundwater at the surface level is called as spring. Discharge of groundwater at the surface level is called spring. Hot spring, hot water will be there, and that has large sulfur content. In Odisha, we have large number of hot springs and has sulfur content. So people believe they have therapeutic values, medicinal values. Some also believe that is religious views are also there, cultural views. கண்ணு ஆஃப் ஆயிடுச்சா? சரி விடு, முடிஞ்சிச்சு, கிளாஸ் முடிஞ்சிச்சு, ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, ரைட்? And we also we seen with respect to Chandipur beach, right? With respect to the falls, என்ன கண்ணு இல்லை இல்லை ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. Bareilly Pani waterfalls, Bareilly Pani waterfalls, located in Simlipal. In Buddhabalanga river, highest waterfalls in Odisha. Highest waterfalls in Odisha. Kandadar Falls. Kandadar Falls. Second highest waterfalls in Odisha. Bareilly is the first. Kandadar is the second highest waterfalls in Odisha. Right? With respect to the tribes, the major tribes. Major tribes. Kond, Santal, all these are major tribes of Odisha. Done with respect to today's discussion, and we have session opening that for doubts, and the class is over, and it's parts per 1,000. Thank you, ma'am. So it's a mistake. It's not parts per million. It's parts per 1,000. So does Chandipur beach water recede? It recedes for kilometers even. So what happens is every day you will be able to see. You go to Gujarat also. There are places like Mandi beach. In the Gulf of Kutch regions, you will be able to see water will recede during the times of day. Water will recede for kilometers, and you will be able to actually walk on the sea floor for even for a kilometer, and then again water will come up. That happens in the beach. Similarly, Chandipur beach also has the peculiar feature which is asked in 2017 or 18 preliminary question paper. I went to find eggs with Chennai running club volunteers on Olive Italy with very good experience. Happy to know, Kishore. And oh yeah, thank you. Oh, I did not say that, right? Kandadar Falls. It is in a river called as Korapani. Missed it. Khorapani River. Chilka Lake. No, Chilka Lake is not a tiger reserve. It's a wildlife sanctuary. There is no tiger in Chilka Lake. Tiger in India is present. Tiger in India in a marine environment is present only in Sundarbans. No other place tiger is present in a aquatic environment or a marine environment. So it's only Sundarbans. Sundarbans is the only tiger reserve, and tigers in Sundarbans are excellent swimmers and fish consumers. They consume fishes because the environment is giving them only available food material is fish. What's the specialty of Kalakundi? தெரியலையே Kishore. Is it a food item? I have no idea. I said Kalahandi. Not Kalakundi. Kalahandi. Maybe. Right? Nothing else. Done? Any doubts? Shall we end the session? முடிச்சுக்கலாமா கண்ணு? Fine? ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா கண்ணு? ஒன்றும் கேட்கல. Is that fine? Is that okay? Shall we end? Thank you.